Welcome to Patriot TV. Our programs are designed to revolutionize the mind for social transformation. In this episode, we shall be talking on public institution towards national development. My name is Adamu Musa Adams. Join me. Apparent incompatibility of behavior with aspirational rhetorics cannot bring the change we desire. Just as to change our circumstances, we must change our attitudes. Our focus for this episode is on our national institution and how effective and efficient they are in delivering the goals of governance. What do you mean by national institution? Public or national institutions are departments or components or the machineries of state for executing plan, policies, and programs of government. Therefore, public institution here includes ministries, departments, agencies, institutions, public funded ventures, all under the federal, state, or local government. What is the current state of our public institution and how does it affect our socio-economic development? Honestly, the basic role of our public institution in fostering delivery and governance are: 1, to develop effective operating system; 2, create implementation strategies; 3, to provide expertise and competencies. On this note, can we say our public institutions are effective on this role, considering the huge fund invested over the years? Evidence of decay across the federal, state, and local government institutions abounds. Collapsing infrastructure, deteriorating facilities, corrupt practices, poor time management, waste of government resources, irregular work attendance, irresponsive and distorted service, nepotism, and more. The question is, are the present administrators of the various arms of government aware of this pervasive decay in our national institutions? We do know that government institution is a major form of government investment. So, where is the return on this investment? For instance, what happened to Ajaokuta Steel Complex? What happened to NNPC and others? Where individuals that are part of the organization are richer than the organization itself? Or have you not heard that some state governors claim they are even richer than the state? Who do us? Who do us? It is our view that all governments at all levels need to address the rots in the public institutions. It does not matter that previous efforts have not yielded the desired result. The history of the Nigerian public service dates back to 1914, when the British colonial rulers established a unified government structure that encompasses the territory now known as Nigeria. It is noteworthy that at independence, Nigeria inherited a public sector adjudged the best among Commonwealth nations. But this is until the first military intervention in 1960, which some commentators have accused of injecting its command structure into politics, leading to ineffective public institutions and rapid deterioration of government services, infrastructures, and facilities. As a matter of fact, the first 3 post-independent public sector reform of the Morgan Commission of 1963, the Elwood Grading Team of 1966, and the Adebo Salary and Wages Review Commission of 1970. It was Udoji Commission of 1972 that made some revolutionary reforms. Going beyond review of salary and wages and touching on the organization, structure, and management of the public service, the goal of the commission was to engender development by optimizing available manpower and increasing effectiveness and efficiency of public services. Ideally, civil service reform should focus on creating a government workforce with the size, skill, culture, and accountability necessary for delivering quality public service and perform vital governmental function. Scavio Campo, 1996. Yet, in spite of this reform, the Daily Independent of 2009, page 68 report, at the dawn of Third Republic, 1999, Obasanjo administration inherited the public service that had many anti-development characteristics, including being slow in official decision and action, insensitive to the value of time, irregular attendance at work, nepotism, waste of government resources, corruption, slow change, and irresponsive and discourteous to the public. With all this past reform upon reform to set a civil service that will deliver on governance, allowing the structure, the system to function. All of the reform never achieved any of this goal. The civil service is still underpaid. The civil service is still corrupt. The civil service is dysfunctional. Hence, the said goal can't be achieved. Every government is driven by a system, and every system has components, like our institutions are the component of government to deliver on their policies, plans, and programs. And these institutions are driven by citizens. Do we now say that the citizens have failed for lack of patriotism? Of course, yes. Because patriotism is love for your country. And the love for your country is to be a part of the driving force that will bring the institution as a component to deliver on the need of this system. Apparently, there is a system failure based on evidences of how workers' attitude towards work. You find out that even civil servant, public servant, for example, a local government chairman, does not even live in his own community. He lives within the city. A governor, almost all of our governors have their houses in Abuja and in Lagos. Most of them, you find out that you need to talk something about state. You need to come to Abuja before you talk to them. But the system ought not to be this. So what is wrong? Is it the executive versus the citizens who are driving this institution to our goal that has failed in this regard? What will you say about a teacher who will gather a student to his farm, his personal farm, when they ought to be in the class? What equally will you say about it? It's common, it's eminent, as a matter of fact, it's common, and you will agree with me, even in your own local government, that the only place that functions is the account department. Of course, the account department is the most busy place at all time, and it only operates at the end of the month. Isn't this unpatriotic? Do we continue like this and expect the change and keep blaming leadership? It's a two-edged sword. It's leaders versus followers. It's the system versus the institution drivers. The institution is established. Its mandate is given. If it has failed in the regard, then those who are responsible to deliver, they should be held responsible. But over time, with all of the reforms that we have had, with all of the design that we have, in not delivering, our constitution makes provision of what happens as a punishment when something is not done right. How many have been punished? Criminals are arrested from the market for stealing 20 naira, 100, and they are jailed. How many of these civil servants who are not delivered? In fact, if you come to work 10 o'clock when you're supposed to come 8 o'clock, it's a criminal offense. You are unpatriotic. You are not working for the development and the growth of the nation to deliver on the nation we ought to be. And if you are a local government chairman, your duty from your oath, from the time you swore, is to answer to the local government's affair. And as a governor is to deliver on what you have said. The control of these institutions are equally under your control. If you don't have a system in place to check and balance what ought to be and what ought not to be, and meant the necessary punishment for correction and for development, it means we're equally not working. In fact, we should think deep again, look within, and see that patriotism is the only tool that will cause us to deliver on stated policies, put our work in place, and get the great nation we desire.
Welcome to the Voice Pop segment on Petrol TV. I am Israel Ojagefu Rejoice. Today we'll go to the streets to find out what Nigerians think on public institutions and related issues. Please come with us. How can we improve performance of our public service?
Public institutions, ministries should give more listening ears to young Nigerians to start up. This is the only way we can trend up in this fast advancing world. We should encourage organic technology that comes out from the country itself. So how do you do this? You motivate the youth, you encourage them, give them resources, support them. Some of them may not be able to see the full potential of what they are doing at the moment. This is why we have elders in the country. So these public institutions are like our elders. They should be able to give us more foresight, and as in should see more into what these people are bringing up and then encourage them.
In my own view, one of the aspects we need to improve the public performance of the public sector is trying to make the environment conducive for the public sector to operate. Because if you could see, a lot of things are actually not working the way it's ought to. The public sector is actually one of the areas that the government needed to empower, because if they want to make the economy good, so the public sector must be the first priority of the government. If the public sector is okay, you discover that the economic system of the country, of any country, will grow outrageous.
In the first place, by introducing discipline among the citizenry in the institutions. As a matter of fact, the level of decadence in the institutions, the moral decadence, has further reduced the value of discipline in public institutions, not only in the universities, but also in public civil service institutions like the ministries and the parastatals.
Ensure that willing and passionate, committed professionals are put in place of authority, because apart from legislation, you need those that has the will to function well.
Talking about the problem of public institutions in Nigeria, I see it basically as lack of sincerity of purpose. They are not sincere about what they want to do, what they want to achieve, or how they want to move this country forward, whether they actually want to move it forward. That is where the problem is.
A lot of public institutions in Nigeria are performing below expectation. There are so many problems militating against the performance of public institutions in Nigeria, particularly when you talk in terms of leadership. So to get that right, so the welfare of public servants must, as a matter of necessity, as it's very important, must be looked into. Their welfare must be improved. Enabling working environment must be provided. Enabling working gadgets must be provided. And then there's no way, when all these things are in place, that public delivery will not improve.
Welcome to the question and answer segment on Petrol TV. I am Israel Rejoice Ojagefu, and today's questions goes this way. What are your expectations from civil service? Okay, good luck. The first three persons who answer the questions correctly stand a chance to win he or herself a 500 naira recharge card of any network of your choice. Keep sending your answers to the following numbers on your screen, and please don't forget to follow us on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Please stay tuned.